Okay, fam. Hey, babies. It's me. Hey, baby. It's me. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week of May 22nd. Okay, let's just maybe orient and maybe locate, as my teacher would say. So, if I locate, how was your Ace of Wands week? How was that Taurus new moon? I wouldn't be surprised, you guys. What's so interesting is I'm recording these two podcasts back to back, which is not something I normally do, but I'm traveling next week and I want to make sure we're all buttoned up. But I have a feeling by the time you listen to this podcast, the week of the 22nd, something pretty substantial happened in that week between the 15th and the 22nd. Just a hunch. No idea what that means, but I have a feeling you're not entering the 20th to the 22nd the way you entered the week of the 15th. It might have something to do with that Ace of Wands energy. It might have something to do with the Taurus new moon, but I'm excited for you. I feel like something opened. And what was so beautiful about that Ace of Wands energy was the way that your whole body came online. It felt like a blooming, like a focus, like an opening, like an expansion, an exposure of your central column, which is something that most of us are really protective of that, whether we realize they're not curl and around it. It felt like this opening of your center column. I keep getting that sensation in meditation. There's some activation happening, maybe just in my body, but I'm pretty sure it's something bigger than me. It's a little bit more of a collective sensation of desire around authenticity, desire around alignment, desire around living a life that truly satisfies you, truly. It's like a meal. I was talking to a friend, he was asking me to head in one direction. I was like, I can, but if I head in that direction, I'm having a light snack. I was like, what I'm hungry for is a meal. I'm hungry. I want something I can sink my teeth into. And the feeling is my jaw is satisfied. Welcome to my very weird world where I have all kinds of crazy chemicals in my body. But there's this sensation of I want my hunger to be satisfied, and my hunger is big. So I'm not sure where that's alive for you, if that's alive for you, but I feel that in my own system, and my body's recalibrating around that. And because of the way the May energy came in around this Hierophant devil conversation, I have a feeling that's true for you too. Because there's something about our appetites that have been shamed or reduced or hidden away or put into shadow or somehow made wrong that is waking back up. And I think that's just interesting because I think we think about revolution as like guns in the streets, but I'm curious about revolution as a bodily experience, as an individual experience, and what happens when all these bodies come online and begin to demand more authenticity, more sacred relating, more devotion to each other in a clean, healthy, real way, more devotion to the earth, more devotion to our communities. What happens when people just, what happens? What happens? I swear to God. What happens when all these bodies come online at the same time? What kind of movement would that create? I'm very curious about that. Okay, so Ace of Wands. So I hope that felt good to you. I hope some party was like, yeah, man, I feel good. I feel turned on. I feel lit up. I feel alive. I feel excited. I feel inspired. I hope that came into your field. This week, I think this is the week. I think this is it. And I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to trust what I feel. The Hangman. So the week of the 22nd, we're dealing with the energy of the Hangman. Okay, so Hangman, it can be about surrender. It can be about a different perspective, different point of view. The key word for the Hangman is reversal. So submission is there, surrender is there. There's something about letting go and not rushing, not pushing. But this week, I feel it as reversal. I think this is the week where something happens. There's some reversal, inverse. We talked about this, but the Hangman coming up, especially the major arcana Hangman, it's not like this is a small energy around this, is saying to me, this is the week where it locks in, where the reversal becomes inevitable, or the reversal becomes, well, of course, or the reversal becomes, that just makes sense, or the reversal comes in as, oh, I can't do it that way anymore, or the reversal comes in, I can't sacrifice myself that way anymore. I can't desecrate myself that way anymore. I can't desecrate the earth that way anymore. I can't desecrate my relationships that way anymore. I can't desecrate community that way anymore. And so you just might become this week very attuned to the truth. And again, the truth as an energetic wave, as a value or a inevitable, the way that love is, right? The way that joy is a state of being. So not truth as in tell me the truth, which obviously that always feels good, but there's something about truth as a sound. I can recognize truth when I hear it. And this is what's interesting. Truth as a resonance, as a sound, as something our body can attune to. This idea of attunement came up last week too, and it's still with us this week. Your body attuning to what is true. You don't necessarily need to narrate it or verbalize it, or again, it doesn't have to be a really conscious experience of it. You don't need to call someone out for not saying the truth, or, oh no, my body's listening for truth. And I hear it when it's available. And I also recognize when it's not there. And that's just interesting, right? Someone tells you a story. You don't necessarily know why you have questions or why the narrative loops aren't closing, or something just feels, it's not even sketchy, but unfinished about it. And that creates a distance. When we're not being shown truth, or something other than truth is being pushed towards us, our body becomes more and more sensitive to not judgment around it, not even suspicion or need to get to the bottom of it, but more just a sense of, oh, that lands in my body as truth and I can relax, or that lands in my body as not truth and that's going to create distance. I don't want to get closer to that. I don't want to get closer to something that doesn't feel aligned, doesn't relax me. It doesn't become something I want to attune to. I'm seeking something deeper. I'm seeking love. I'm seeking truth. I'm seeking freedom. I'm seeking beauty. And if you're not calling to me with those things, it's neither here nor there. It's just not for me. And I love that this invitation this whole month has been energetic, because it's not about whether I can convince myself one way or the other, or whether I can judge you as right or wrong, whether I can make a story that makes this acceptable or not acceptable. It's literally just a somatic movement of, I want to come closer to that. I need to stay steady for a minute, or that's not for me. But it's just this very animalistic, very calm, very inevitable kind of orientation. I really haven't put this card down. That's so interesting. The hangman this week feels like, oh, I see clearly now. I know what I am aligned to in this. I know what I'm not aligned to in this. And there's not a lot of room for doubt. And so you might want to notice this week, what your mind is saying about what's happening is just so much less important than what your body is signaling about what's happening. And in dynamic, in relationship, in conversation, communication, really trust your bodies. And I mean that with people, but I mean that with the world. Really trust what your body's saying. Trust the bells that ring that say true, not true, for me, not for me. Again, without having to connect it to a rationalization or an explanation. It's just, it is what it is. And there's something about this hangman that says the shift locks in. If I were my most dramatic self, which I try not to be on the podcast, but if I were my most dramatic self, I would liken this to a judgment week where something shifts for me that is now a new mode of operation. I cannot unsee what I've seen, and now I know I see clearly and I move differently. There's just something I keep having this sense of two pieces fitting together and locking in. Something Zelda. Some things fit and then it locks and then something else opens up. I always bring it back to video games. I don't know why. I do love games. I love Super Mario Brothers. And I love Zelda. I used to love when we played Zelda. I just wish it was a 2-player game, because we would always get in fights about who was playing the main character. He actually reminds me of Link a little bit, the hangman. And Link never talks. That. Okay, I don't know why I'm talking about this. But have you ever played Zelda? Everybody talks to Link, but he never says anything. He just makes noises and is, so I guess it's so you can fully step into Link, so you can become the first player character. There's something here about that. There's the sense of Link just kind of does what he needs to do. He moves the way he needs to. He hears what he has to. He translates. He goes into action. There's something here about the hangman, even though it's suspension and reversal and surrender, there is something about not needing to explain what you know to be true. I love the Hangman. This is a card, again, people, when I teach tarot, have a little bit of fear around. I think they connect it to the crucifixion or to some kind of discomfort, but you really want to notice he's not uncomfortable at all. He just is living with a North Star that other people might not understand yet. And so he's not the hermit, right? The hermit is walking the path. He's going to create the path as he walks it. He's the guiding light for us, the way shower. The hangman is like the iconoclast or almost the jester, or there's a little bit of an outcast energy to the hangman because he doesn't need to be understood, and he almost knows it's impossible for him to narrate what he's experiencing and you to get it. This is a card where you have to experience it for yourself. The only way to really know love, to really know incarnation, to really know so many things is to actually move through it, to actually experience it yourself. And so there's the thing that is so relaxed about the hangman is that he has no need to evangelize, no need to convince you he's right, no need to get you on his team or flip you upside down or make you understand. There's something about you just either get him or you don't, and he's so relaxed and at peace with it that he doesn't need to explain it to anyone else. And just notice that for yourself too, where you just know what you know and you are ideally so relaxed about it. Ideally, again, it's not about explaining it, it's about feeling the truth of it. This is for me. I'm not sure. This is not for me. And there's just this simplicity and calm and grace to it. It's under the radar a little bit. And it's, again, a judgment quality of now I see, and there's no unseeing. And now I know, and now I move differently, and I don't need to explain that to anyone, not even myself, as my teacher Kendra would say. All right, cool. There's your hangman. Excited to check back in a couple weeks. I feel like we're going to be in a really different place, and I'm pumped to see what that's like. And, be good to yourself. Be good to each other and be good to yourself. And be as weird as you want to be. Build a life that pleases you. There's no prize for most accommodating. There's no prize for most conformist. The prize is, am I excited to be here? And how much fun can I have while I'm here? Okay, bye.